would you do if you knew you had less than 8 minutes to live?
I'd make those seconds count.
What made you choose Source Code as your next big picture to direct? What made you think, I want to direct that film?
Well, two reasons. One, I am a huge fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he's a terrific actor, and I wanted to work with him. I was actually doing the international press for Moon, my last film, and had the chance to meet up with Jake in Los Angeles, and he was the one who gave me the script for Source Code. And I read it and I got very excited because I thought, finally someone's giving me an opportunity to do a film which is not about one guy on his own in space, which is what most of the scripts were that I was getting. So no, I just thought that there was something really exciting about the script, and working with Jake was the clincher.
I took your advice. It was very good advice. Sean.
Look, I can see that you think you know me, but I don't know who you are. My name is Captain Colter Stevens.
You're kind of freaking me out.
You've worked with some really good actors over your last few films.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
All my 2 films.
Kevin Spacey certainly was brilliant, obviously just the voice, but still fantastic actor. Yeah. Is there anyone who you'd specifically like to work with again? Or
all of them. Honestly, I'm not being, I really did enjoy working with all of them, and if I could find the right projects and I had the time, I would work with all of them. I have had no bad experiences yet. I'm sure I will. You hear about them too often not to, but so far I've been really lucky. Work with people who are very talented and really enjoyable to work with.
Welcome back, Captain Stevens.
Where am I?
You are inside the source code.
What is the source code?
It's a computer program, Captain.
Source code enables you to cross over into another man's identity in the last 8 minutes of his life.
When you're shooting a film, there are technical challenges that come up.
Yeah.
Did you face any in Source Code? I mean, or is there anything you would have liked to have done if you had had more time and budget?
Well, it was interesting. We shot most of the film up in Montreal, although it's set in Chicago. We were up further north in Canada. And there was some unique challenges to that, obviously, especially the time of the year. It gets very cold up there. The weather is a little bit unpredictable, a bit like England. And we had most of our shoot was inside a soundstage. We built the inside of a train and we were shooting there for that. And then there's these various sets that we use. But there is this train station that we go to, and the weather was a nightmare. And we had about 4 or 5 days set aside to shoot the sequences that we need to at this train station. And it was sunny, and then it was rainy, and it was cloudy, and it was just every day it was a different thing. So it was really the weather that was as far as the whole shoot goes, the weather was the one thing that was killing me, that really drove me crazy.
At 7:48 this morning, a bomb exploded on a train outside of Chicago, killing everyone on board. A man named Sean Fentress was on that train. He is now you.
Overall, the film has quite a serious tone.
Yeah.
It's a bomb threat. Colter Stevens has a mission to do. But some scenes in there were actually very funny. I mean, I laughed out loud many times. Was that something you intended to do, or was that Jake bringing that to the project?
That was massively important, and it was actually, no, I'll take responsibility for that. Jake was the one who delivered it, absolutely. But when I read the script for the first time, I did find that it seemed the tone was quite serious when I read it initially. And my interpretation of the script, my pitch to Jake was, let's lighten the tone of this film. Let's find ways to inject some humor into it. Because I really think with all of the heady science fiction ideas that are sort of at the heart of the film, it will really help the audience to come on board and to bond with Colter, the hero, if there is sort of a looseness and a humor to it.
Think, Captain, remember back. Who bombed the train?
I don't know who bombed the train!
Then try again.
Wait, no,
With Moon, you use a lot of traditional technology, models and miniature sets and things like that.
Yeah.
What was it like going from that to a film where you did have to rely heavily on CGI?
It was interesting, I mean, the film came together quite quickly. Jake and I sort of met, and I read the script and decided we wanted to work on it together, and then everything was really on a very fast schedule as far as getting the film made. Jake was basically, he'd just finished Prince of Persia. He had to go off and do the press for Prince of Persia. So it was within that window that we needed to shoot the film, which meant that there was not as much flexibility as maybe I would have liked, and pre-production moved at an accelerated pace. Some of the things that would have been interesting to try, like doing tests of model miniatures or bigatures, or maybe even using a real train at some points and actually, you know, blowing up a carriage would be fantastic, but just wasn't practical under the circumstances.
We've been informed there'll be another attack in 6 hours. If you find the bomber, the next attack can be prevented. Concentrate on the passengers in your car. Look for ones who seem nervous. As always, you will have 8 minutes.
8 minutes, and then I blow up again.
All of the films you've directed so far have focused on one genre, which is sci-fi.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to continue with, or would you like to break out into other genres?
I would love to break out, but I mean, I do have a bit of a long-term plan, and I've really been trying to make films that will put me in a position where I can make the films I want to make at the budget where I think they'll be best achieved. And I think I'm almost there now, and hopefully my third film will be a science fiction film, and it will be that. It will be a science fiction film sort of on my terms. And once I've done that, I think I am going to take a little bit of a break from sci-fi and try out some other genres.
Wow, definitely looking forward to it. I mean, are you able to tell us about any of your future projects or anything you're working on?
Not too much. Not too much. I mean, there's a few things that I'm playing around with. There's a sci-fi film I'm writing right now. There's a film called Mute, which I wrote a while ago, which is kind of this film that I've been trying to make for a while. So those are the two things that I've sort of come up with, and then there are some offers for some other films. So we'll see what ends up happening next.
I want to go back in. I'm going to save her.
You can't. Doesn't work that way.
Christina is dead.
She doesn't have to be.
You cannot alter this reality while inside the source code.
I'm asking you to have the decency to let me try.
If you had to describe source code in one sentence, what would it be?
Let me see. You put me on the spot there. Action-packed thriller with a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of humor and a little bit of romance, some Hitchcock, and some, you know, an amazing performance by Jake and the rest of the cast, and it's well worth your pound.
Yeah.
What's going on? He's in trouble. Tell me everything's gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be okay.